The white man gets no respect. More often than not, he is hanged from his white neck. His white voice is suppressed. It's true, we never hear from the white man. His point of view is foreign to us. Right. Start rapping. Ridiculous as the phallus, his dick pics mythic as Atlantis. Ejected from the palace for lycanthropic madness. I can't go for that as Oates and Hall. Febrile with the doll. This freestyle with the balls. Globular as the droplet or the planet. Popular as the prophet with the madness. Spreading as pollen in the wind. This modern blend of God and devil off their meds. Those shot in the head, hit with these freestyles. The tree falls, powerful as the hatchet, infallible in his actions, radical in his psyche, agrammatical like these modernist sentences, condescension over hip-hop sounds, talking down to these clowns, pants falling down, waiting for Godot. These hobos, slow to behold this stolen cold from the homeless, stolen code from the phone. This hacker with the information, masterfully spit in this craziness. Razor blades couldn't cut more incisively. The surgeon with his sterile verbal nicety. Tautological, the tautology because tautological, aphrological, the deep end of this state of affairs as with great care and great hair. He said, wherefore art thou the great bear? Ignoring our pal who ain't there in Montreal with the Boreal bière. These scissor sippers, hipsters in the blizzard, blatantly racist more often than not. Faces vacant as they nod in raiment, odd, then taking it off, playing God, playing with dice, in as thinly slicing in the kitchen, the Christ bread sinning on his mission, beginning with intuition, as the subject and the object blended perfectly in sense certainty, as though the here were near and now is the hour, powerful as the coward. From the sour devoured to the great flavored, from the state of nature to the symbolic order, this language of the maker causing the borders of definition, this dictionary of concepts in the mind, this visionary dishonesty defined. These great verses depressing the haters who negate first and ask questions later, animal in their disposition, Immanuel Kantian physics of intuition and concepts of the understanding, songs shedding light on the wonders of those demanding works, serving their purpose practical, mirth warping their purpose practical, firstly versing this purple plastic purple tape, lurking in the blackness or hurtling through space. These white lives, these white lives, these white lives, white lives. Fertile sermon, this verbal murmur, his murdering words with visuals, worth them by the thousands, cursing like a fountain of oaths. Christ Jesus, these white demons, these white lives, these white lives, these white lives, white lives. ghostwriter, ghostwriter. Conversion therapy couldn't vex his gay flow, nor wearing some hat to protect his gray fro in Baruch, and burning this split and earning his mythical status as the Mad Hatter hatless, writing this colorless Tsukuru Tazaki, and drinking sake with one wacky disc jockey, or breathing purple Urkel with a local sex worker. This vocal hex disperser cursing his enemies. Fuck Lil Wayne, Lil Ghostwriter, Lil B. Every rapper weaker and stronger differently than being pontificatingly LG in this library. Stylistically not unlike the warning seismologist, earthquaveringly uncertain of the quality of these bars, written for anybody to parse, of this worthlessly Ondaatchian literary creation. To interpret the Sontag is against interpretation and suspended animation. This listening to KMD rapper LG crazily after that white whale, that Moby Dick. If I'm lonely, I'm sick, but I'm a rapper in solitude, self-loving mulatto dude, celebrating at Bonnaroo and Sappy Fest. The fact that he's blessed as the lyricist oppressed as the queerest shit the West has yet encountered, this little ghostwriter. Little ghostwriter, ghostwriter, little ghostwriter, ghostwriter. Who's the muse of rap on that mountain again? By whom spew I these raps as the fountain pen, generally never to be understood? Holy Christly and wonderful good, this under the hood time machinery, this DeLorean at war again against injustice. Marty McFly replaying that tale of Oedipus, tearing at the edifice. This little ghostwriter, why can't the world understand her? Could he flow more blander, nor more interestingly as Gary's Panther? His references obscure for sure, lobbing balls at the audience of tennis rackets, a menace at its most ghostly as the Star Wars, ignored mostly by the carnivores. This lactose intolerant pescatarian rap, mass suicide occult figurines in this rap, glad to elide wordy dreams in this rap, settling for fact, juxtapositional, superpositional rap, loving its physical, uber-positional to trap, music and rap, music collapse, blues, ellipses, whilst the loose script flees, definitive description, definitive his discipline, multi-connotative his vision in lovely attire, multicolored in wisdom and sin, this multitude and the spirit within, were lit to begin with, tight stoned, right zoned out, by the so-called devout, we minorities, your designs, ignoring these oppressor, colonizers. Ill ghostwriter, confessor, this confessional rap, a Sylvian planet. Licensed to rap, licensed to trap, fighting as black as light gone spidery, non-binary, this rap goddess, Miss Ghostwriter, Miss Mad Trapper, leading the RCMP, believing the heart to be two spiders going at it, a widow spider, this little ghostwriter of Montreal, of Canada. Hockey lockout, Indian reservation, that's so Canadian. They're all laughing at this. College dropout, late registration and graduation. Entering advertising, bending and prostituting the anomalous, intending or constituting the phenomena as letters make words, ever hard, unretired, in unfashionable attire, wearing plaid patterns, going at these bad rappers with a weed whacker. Peep this mad trapper, forgotten as Max Apple, leaving this ramshackle in his wake, believing the RCMP a mistaken entity. living these dreams, milking those creams, the Milky Way's best lyricist, Pegasus Cygnus, the stardust into clay, into flesh, into dust, interest, into lust, fanning these flames of pure ardor, crashing this plane into the harbor. Alas, all is lost, these martyrs impossible, their cause infinitude, gladsome the flashing lights, attitude, altitude, fashionably lacking despite this amplitude of the desire, striving toward infinite growth as capitalism, this fire, striving toward the intimately close cataclysms, the climate disasters, tiring under the master's whip, this slave machine, hearkening back to the leisurely lives of those cave machines, painting for future archaeology, dreams of slaying of beasts with technologies, primitive infinitive to slay, everly in the past tense, delaying having with the senses, a reality intimately close to the real, lacking the real all about us, via productive misunderstanding, kissing and damning as Judas, hissing off capitalistic, plutocratic, with the physics of these antics impossibly reversing time's arrow with eros, and memory exact these records. Hypomanic is the ghost writer, slow to type words, fast to spit them like the slasher, slashed like the slasher victim, masterful with the wisdom and lunacy as the lunas, the greed, great-hearted with the raps, accentuating the dark night as these bars might, our starlight flowing in rays, slow to decay, thrown as the grenade, roping in the prey, molding the day according to the model in this lettre de cachet, from the god of all leftists, these gays and lesbians replaying this and getting it finally, this liberating style of these outbraving the upper class with its finery lyrical, repeopling your brain with these devils, this machinic arrangement of rebels, a rogue's march for the coldest hearts among us, a flow chart showing the march of progress, post showing the obscene, post withholding the obscenery, and feelingly repeating his themes in these myocardiographs of the beats of God's raps, the heat of God's wrath, spat in a fascist tongue, the code, the math of the sophist, Lacan, laconic, obtuse, demonic, obnoxious, these clocks momentarily pause it, the stops on the way to the godless, paying homage to the dead ghost, a red rose Lancastrian, left to float on the river laughing again and again, as the waves ashore again and again, mutineering as these rhizomes gallivantingly flying homegrown as the cannabis plant, fastly recanting his nth fragment meant to mentally puncture the totality of your reality, its fascisms and depravities, sad with greed, black imagined disastrous to your maladies, this witch doctor, switching off your artificial gravity, and supplantingly wrapping these valid Jesus Christ like sleepy night, lighting the beliefs productive of such grief and joy, redeployed in poetry. An endless stream of words in the mind of the universe, the multiverse, infinite fragments of language. It's just an endless stream of percussion, staying the same stream, the pride in which we feel so real. It's so surreal. I'm gonna start rapping. Organically supersede that. Lofty from the throne came down these words like a curse, always already thrown into an ambiguous verse. As his converter machines, these Christless types attract us. Black whiteness, black blackness. I'm half rapping, half badly, half not rapping, half badly. In the salmon analogy, time is the river, time is that original mover. This continuous flux of flows, that's us. We've murdered every god we see in the glowing fire. This turbo-robotic G for ghost writer, honored to decide between the flip and the flop. His words sow the body upon which we inscribe this hip-hop machinery. This important is Jesus' gushing flow. To record it is to freeze and interrupt the flow. Alas, what they undertook to do they brought to pass, turning reality into the burning grass. We breathe in that urgent task we're to begin, recontextualizing fragments of language in a rhizomatic tapestry, staying the same as the cryogenically frozen terminology of the Deleuzian, as we organically supersede them, warring against the vanity of those rigid academic strictures and structures, digitally disseminating these love words, potent as cannabis edibles, cogent as the consumer of edibles. Those already dead, these hobos. Those already dead, those hobos. Those already dead, those hobos. Those already dead, those hobos. Telescopically, binocularly, jocularly, flippantly, slowly reading you clearly, visibly growing in the rear view mirror. He's interrogating the real news media, whose disturbing facts we're slow to devour. Burning these raps for motive power, you cowardly in your retreat, swerving over concrete, repeatingly learning how to be sleep in the ear. These weekly, yearly, early post-modernistic, frozen flows uninterrupted. This body, knowing ghostly, this conducted as shockingly as those slovenly raps of those outsider creators, schizophrenizing those egos, without aggrandizing those regal in their comportment, each in his or her or their compartment of difference from each. Those academic and the beat poetry, street poetry and defeat poetry, each showing she's the difference between the different themes. Ghostly this cosmos, mostly, almost, totally God's soul incarnate. I telescope my third eye, naked, using LSD as payment. I enter that frontier final, the sky, spinning as the vinyl or the spliff. I twist, lift and inhale, lifting the sail and slowly blown under the stars from these dangerous parts. We strangers depart on the bark of this art, each a synecdoche, a quark in the body of this art, the socius, this cosmos ghostliest, to telescope of those already dead, these hobos. 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 Those already dead, these hobos.
Our wealth, these commodities, our
as cultivators of the truth, only connect like Bluetooth, selling C for M to buy another C. These use values obtained through exchange. These Fu Manchus insanely deranged, left-leaning in the gleaming of this gold commodity. This flow godly repeated through the grapevine. Behold auditorily this congealed labor time. This value extrinsic, these patterns exegetic, das Kapital rhymes. As black animals maligned, demand informing the supply of socially useful labor objectified. Labor is the substance of value. Labor time is the measure of its magnitude.
Selling C for M to buy another C. Selling C for M to buy another C. Buying C with M to sell for more M. Buying C with M to sell for more M.
The truth is strange, the labor process is invisible. The truth of exchange these numberless stores whisper, deep as the hunger to hoard silver. As the jaws swimming in these blue waves in the wind, these gods, their infinite accumulation of the commodity money, that universal equivalent, hypnotizing these monkeys, exchanging their wares for gold, carelessly sold and consumed. This congealed labor concealed, that hunting on land or fishing, producing its usefulness in this social metabolism, refusing the view of this as a totally random vision. Stick with it and listen if you want to understand capitalism. Understand capitalism.
Buying C with M to sell
for more M. Buying C
with M to sell for more M. To sell a commodity for more money than you possessed before, and thusly collect surplus value. Converts the money into capital and makes you a capitalist, making value your master. Its self-valorization is magic, and capital's just that process, alive as the animist's enchantment of the forest. To sell a commodity for more money than you possessed before, to extract value from the consumption of your commodity you've got to seek. A commodity whose use value is the source of that value you so need. Labor power is the commodity you seek.
Alas, this is not a song of hope. Alas, alas. Is this a glimmer in the murk as gold? Can you whistle while you work? No.
Is the system imperfect? Can you whistle while you work? Yes.
The benevolent capitalist buys your labor power, precious as amethysts, measured in days and hours. Your labor power is that commodity whose use value is a source of value for the capitalist. The value of your labor power is the value of the means of subsistence necessary for your maintenance.
The capitalist and the possessor of labor power now interact.
Problematic relationship. Is the system imperfect? Can you whistle while you work? Yes.
Is this a glimmer in the murk as gold? Can you whistle while you work? No.
There's no hope. No commodities without their makers. No capitalism without wage labor. No prosperity without the failure of those enterprises of your neighbors. Alas, alas. Ghostwriter was a Lao Tzu, a Foucault, a William Gaddis, a Ben Jonson, a Virginia Woolf, a Jean-Paul Sartre, a Ralph Waldo Emerson, a James Joyce, a Ralph Ellison, a Nina Loy. Sunning myself, outrunning my selfishly unforgiven, selflessly under the spell of a rapper who dwells in obscurity, hellish his purity, abstractest artistry, hard to be understood any more than this ghostwriter, knowing he's lyrically flowing, unusually going that extra step beyond surface complexity, spitting this sexily uncomplicated rhyme scheme. All is sacred I dream, feeling so nicely in the sun, sipping sweet tea peacefully. A milli-cc's of that peace tea, please, cool, refreshing. Were you expecting a lesson, a story, a message, hortatory, never everly? Was the goal a message hortatory, I'm told? God skilled, took its toll, taking pills till I'm old. For my problems, psychological, lauded for my topical tackling of the Syrian civil war. In these raps, you're ignoring these raps and the polar ice caps for that iced cappuccino. This dream flow, this weirdo, this little ghostwriter complacent in the Canadian summer, timely undermining the gun-toting G-rap of smoking reefer for the laughter. Smoking reefer for the laughter. This goes out to all the pedestrians and cyclists on some riding a bike shit. Like calling lesbians dykes, these scientists like white just isn't lame when you look at it logically. Life just isn't the same without this afro sophistry. Little ghost writer modestly producing his penis and revealing in freeness or freedom his living the threesome of God and Christ and the Holy Ghost. Souls we host infused with the cannabis of holiness, we delicious demonic, ironically apes of God, moronically going on in these, rocking this poetry out of the holy devout inclination of the intellectual masturbation sexual and the literal auto-affection, this auto-attuned early T-pain, this American Revolution the cleric couldn't subsume into human schooling. The youth's not learning, rather burning incense to cover the scent of cannabinoid dream flows of weed smoke. This just doesn't work as a rap, to chauffeur that mind of yours from idea to idea, from shelf to shelf of the strength of rage. IKEA, career in rap, undergroundling of the improvisational, devotional rap for mostly ghostwriterly underground, invisible men and women and transhuman rap students getting educated at the University of Spitting Flames as the dragon slain in antiquity is now to be paid equally okay. Seroquel unnecessary, Wellbutrin unnecessary, no aripiprazole that's so necessary. Getting paid to be unwell, and more meditative and mindful than the swine of Canada. Those RCMP and other police homicidal is the automobility of adult humanity, transforming the land and sea as the pedestrian, that anthropomobile, hands free to hold steel and cold to feel killed in dual combat and bipolar schizo, affectively assembled in the rhizomatic, sad heavily resembling the high addict, method acting for the verisimilitude, playing the fool and staying in school. Connect my email to my phone. How do I... Staying clean, slaying the dragon, saying her prayer to be held responsible equally for the honorable feet that he licks, kicking against the pricks, thickening his slippery raps, silvery plap confessional, to factitiously crack viciously wise, knowledge of what lies love was, as must everything be, everything the physicists don't see, the dark material of consciousness, the tragic as Aeschylus, intelligent messiness, a maze of ready-made text, words waiting to be dressed in use, sexed and confused, held in its nudity, the truth that he wraps as the moon we see, waves need to make the day's movement momentary, through the obituarily necrological being towards death. Melanistic and aphrological, these thoughts, as the Navy and Army at war with the heteropatriarchy, getting labeled as harpies, fallen ill of AIDS, dishonored as the gay ghostwriter in his lingerie, dishonore de Balzac, the dead author, the dead father, several as the augur. These poems crystallizing his aim, firing rhymes as the pistol. The snow symbolizes cocaine, trying to hide behind these crystals. This product displacement again, this condensation of the rain, flying high as the missile, and falling upon the topmost part of your head, destroying your brain with these indelible rhymes argument, red as the vinyl record end, setting fire to these letters, erasing time with this record, thrown as the discus, glowing and viscous, this ooze, holy as Christmas and as misused, growing suspicious of this universe, expansively empty as the rhetoric, hilarious as Cedric the entertainer, in the bleak midwinter in a manger, speaking simply for the stranger, speaking strangely to these simpletons, singing derangedly insipid hymns to conformity, born among these ideologies confused, lying honestly atop his enthusiasm, riding atop these godly delusions as a softly diluted passion, this captain, his interstellar voyage, boldly going where no one has gone before, slowly showing himself to be more than human in his communion with the universe, the student of nature, obscure as the future, his raps, pure as the supernumerary infinitude of the multiverse, past the cannabis, 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 magic randomness, this past the acting random at ghost writer, this brighter cannabis of past the cannabis, forgot the cannabis afterly, magic past the cannabis like an actorly. to the soul, a window to the soul, as the window to the soul, wraps unclear, wraps unclear, as the window to the soul, window to the soul, unclear. Clearly going, lyrically weirder than those tearful souls of old, those bards, repeatable as the virus. Inside us, this raw material, this cocaine frosted cereal, your promises I'd trusted in the vernal atmosphere, as birds in the air. These words immaterial, eureka invisible, as these new media digital, but you betrayed me, hanging as Judas from the tree, knowing the truth to be fruit to your curculio, ruining those beautiful forms platonic, planted in the garden of ideas, ranting in the marketplace on this tribal media, railing against the white Jesus, this blight ingenious in its evil, this sequel to the previous track, feeling attacked, these rappers on the beat reacting to the peaceful fashion in which the black wisdom spreads, canceling the debt. The television red as the magazine dead. These new media digital, eureka invisible, as these words immaterial, as birds in the air, in the vernal atmosphere. I'd trusted your promises, this cocaine frosted cereal, raw material, inside us, this repeatable as the virus. Those bards hiding away from these bars of irony. A window to the soul, clear as the mirror. A window to the soul, wraps unclear as the mirror. Soul. Message old as he, 33. I'm a copy of Crash in the Trash. Sad to be sad. This meta-sadness, yet addicted mad herb smoking for the benefits. To his self-esteem, held high his head seeming. Under-over-educated in the thunder, over-dedicatedly producing poetry no one values. So unvalued in this devalued existence. Over-obsessed in the detail-oriented resume description, featherweight depiction of that Kafkaesque distribution of effects. Now I'm death, now I'm sex, hip-hop with the what's next, switching the sets of words in an order absurd to more her words of specification regarding the creation of this commission. Rap by this ghostwriter undead, ectoplasmic phonotextual spirit with the business unfinished, spitting till the English is lost in that Esperanto of silence, our common noumenon. Our Brahmin we re-enter this rap, cremate these facts of language, his juxtapositions must have been envisioned lustfully by women in that Great Depression. Lame his elegance on the scene of presence, witchcraft, witch crash, unpleasant, less than zero this series of tragedies, the mind that catastrophizes, the castration of authorial intent on the vagina, licking the clitoris, forgetting those idiots who said he was no man, those who said no man such as he could rap as the Glenn Gould of hip-hop, this man of scientifically precise organic machinery in his approach to his art, so feelingly smart and depressedly as Eeyore, debilitatedly freer than most most of the hip-hop phantasms, ectoplasms, orgasms, ignoring his passions, and spitting ambivalently still without free will. Rap so fulfilling with the fulfillingness, building this chill illness, mausoleum, museum prolific with the disseminations, his rap vacation, masturbation, lyrical contagious with the celebration, lyrical, fated to be underrated, ever lyrical, in the knowledge of his low status, his flow the saddest. There's as many of me as those listening, those friends of LG, standing for Lil Ghost writers, these many Andrews represented by skeletal remains, edible brains, these paintings, this independent order of odd fellows, Saul bellows in the flesh, these lengthy pleasantries, this courtesy, making new enemies with his verses, these he spits as the sparks from this spliff in the dark, marking the star charts, charred as the parts of the pig or the lamb, or a niggerish man in the hands of these cannibals, thinking they can handle the contents of his brain case, lively concepts Hades hates, damning the sinners with faint praise. They're not as great as they say, braving the days final of this carnal, searching the heart of darkness for this kernel, starless darkness of this verbally tarnished instrumental, varnished with his mental breakdance, a kinetic graffito, ahead of his people, the humans, illegally these students of criminology, living honestly simple as the god is to the ghost, coughing so close to the microphone, recycling vital notions of the notion, emotionally knowing absolutely the moment's unstoppable, his rhyme salad style of balladry, freestylistical, Greekish guile, mystical, Homeric, his Iliad communication, and Illmatic for the Canadians, a product of fornication as much as any endeavor, spreading the pleasure cleverly, this long bushy tail starting to start again, a tail hard to Chardin with the point omega. Unspeakable this scheme, repeatable his meme, remorseful, like I just killed an Aryan, suicidal as the dream of that berryman, this drama queen as seen through a limpid aquarium, staring at him through this murk and gloom, work in the room, how goes it, writing his pantoum for the proletariat, these limericks for the childish gambinos, wildest night twilight, quiet as sheep and goats lying by candlelight, rhyming as grand as the Christ, miraculous, valid as the mice inhabiting this wall, squeaky upon discovering this cheese in the trap, putting his city on the map, warping the meanings on the track, calculating as the computer, validating hip-hop's lyrical transmuter, the ghostwriter, throwing ciphers at their transparency, cryptic as icy words, cold as the careless sea, knowing this heresy, outing the Pharisees, barely alive anymore, this ghostly, to your mostly harmless, as our species boldly sharpest, this graffiti scrawled, really tall, the meanings all in all, it was an utterly mythic cabal, driving the production in reality, it was a Mr. Laval of the Valley, French as Canadian English, spoken badly. Broken pieces of candy fall, reading Tristram Shandy and all. Or Candide by Voltaire, stampeding through this air, this celestial omnibus, letting go of the dust, dusting the floor, like trusting in war this walrus, making senseless sense of this senseless sense, presently tense unpleasantly, this freestyle was meant to be, mentally friends with those men who were enemies, this advocate, trapped in a rap, canceling the facts, as the bat that passed as a rat in Halifax. Da